Yes, yes. It's going to help your life. You're literally, by taking these small actions, you are saving your own life, like your future.
Yeah. And even if you're like, I don't care because I'm going to be dead one day anyhow, do it for the dogs.
Do it for the dogs.
There's always going to be dogs living here on Earth, and the future generations of dogs need a nice Earth to live on. So we have to protect it for them. Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. Eco-friendly and sustainability have become marketing buzzwords in industries like fashion and home decor. But those aren't terms that we hear enough in the pet industry. In today's episode, I'm talking to Veronica Guzik of Pupcycle. When she and her husband first rescued their greyhound, Fly, they bought her tons of new toys, treats, and all kinds of goodies. One day, they looked around at the pile of stuff that had accumulated and thought, there has to be a more sustainable way to pet parent. And that's how Pupcycle was created. Veronica curates sustainable dog toys and supports local animal rescues and efforts to keep the earth an awesome green place to live. In this conversation, she shares advice on how to get the most out of your dog's toys so you throw away less. And she also gives some great ideas for low to zero cost ideas to make your pet business more eco-friendly. Make sure that you stick around until the end of this episode for another bonus Q&A with pet business automation coach, Natasha O'Banion. The Game Changers Pet Care Summit is coming up in just a couple weeks, and Natasha has a preview of the session that she'll be teaching during that event. Hey, Veronica, how are you?
Hi, Tori. I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm so excited to hear all about Pupcycle and what's new with you, and also talk about sustainability, because I think that obviously the world is literally on fire.
Yes.
So it's a very timely topic and important to all petpreneurs out there. So
Sure.
Why don't we start? Do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about Pupcycle and how you started this business?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, it's a long story, but I will give you guys the shortest version possible. I recently got back into pet parenthood last year when my husband and I adopted a rescue greyhound, and, we started spoiling her, and, the mountain of dog toys piled up, and, we were buying her all these different treats and a bunch of different stuff. And like at one point we literally looked around and we're like, whoa, this is a pile of junk. We're literally just contributing to waste and landfills. And we started looking at other, eco-friendly toys. And, it dawned on us. We were like, how do we bring eco-friendly dog toys and sustainably made dog toys to the forefront of pet ownership? And how do we do this while still like staying committed to a mission of, fighting animal cruelty and working with rescues and welfare groups? So we started Pupcycle. We were like, let's get the best toys out there and put them together. And, instead of a big, 2002 cardboard box, let's do a compostable mailer and see if we can go as close to zero waste as possible with the pet toy industry and see what people think about it. So here we are.
Well, I think it's so interesting because, there is another toy subscription box company that is known for creating things that are like for tough chewers. They have like a word for it. I can't remember. Yeah. But like the super chewer box or something like that. And they make toys that are supposedly like indestructible because the problem is people are continuously buying dog toys that their dogs are destroying, and then they throw them away, and they're probably made out of, if they're a stuffed animal, they're probably made out of some kind of like polypropylene, some kind of chemical material, and
Right.
the whole process of manufacturing them, and then your dog plays with it for 5 minutes and then you throw it away. It's very wasteful, the whole life cycle of it.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
so how did you start to learn about toys that are more sustainable?
Gosh, well, I feel like I had to go. It's like almost going back to college. Like I went to the Google University, not like Google University, but like Google became my new best friend. And I started researching, like that subscription box that you mentioned, for super chewers, and seeing like, what does sustainability mean in the pet products industry? Right. And how are people defining that? Does it mean that they're using natural fibers? Does it mean that they're making a really tough toy that's going to last, a year or 2 years or 3 years rather than something that will only last 5 minutes? So literally got on the internet, started following thought leaders in the space, started looking to toy producers that I really admired, like this brand Soda Pup.
Mm-hmm.
And said, like, how are you guys doing this? What are your sustainability practices? And just getting informed. Because I realized that information also isn't really out there for pet parents. If you look at sustainability and environmentalism as it pertains to, fashion or home products, like that information is constantly being pumped at us as a marketable item, but it's not really out there for the pet world. So I had to go digging, and I mean, you see, I share some of that stuff on our channels. But yeah, it was a lot. It's been a lot of learning and constant learning, and talking to the people that are thought leaders there.
Yeah, I mean, it is like you mentioned the fashion industry, and like the channels that I look at on Instagram, or the platforms I look at on Instagram, on TikTok and everything, everyone's like, embrace slow fashion and don't buy fast fashion because of how terrible it is. And, you hear, I heard some story like H&M has so much waste that they literally just burn it in a big fire in Sweden or something. Mm-hmm. And it's just, that's crazy. So there is a lot of education happening in the fashion industry, but yeah, like you never hear that about pet products really, or it just doesn't get like as much attention, even though it is kind of out there and available. I think your average pet parent isn't walking into a pet store and seeing that kind of information.
Right. We're not. So that's, part of Pupcycle's mission too. And that's part of my mission to bring that to the forefront. Because we can make a significant change, right? Our pets, our dogs are literally our children. I mean, I know that you feel the same way I do about our dogs. Like the amount of investment and items that we buy to keep their lives great. It is the same as having children. And when you think of another person and another person's impact on the environment, on global warming, on climate change, you usually don't think about how your pet relates to that. So yeah, just trying to bring that to the forefront with, myself and with Pupcycle.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's also been such a movement this year about, what you can do with your buying power. Even if you're buying one thing, you can be really intentional about who you're buying it from and what the product is. And that really, I think, ties into sustainability as well.
For sure. And, even the question, I like I said, I follow a lot of thought leaders in the sustainability world. And, one common thread is, are you using what you have to its greatest potential? And in the pet products industry, we don't really have that luxury yet because a lot of things are made to just like turn and burn, right? It's fast products like fast fashion, fast toys. So yeah, it's like, how do we change that? So that's what I'm about.
So like, I have a box of toys downstairs that my dogs never touch. So, like, do you have any suggestions on how to make those toys, like how to make the most of their life with us? Like, are there things I could be doing to make the most of them?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, right. with the idea that sustainability starts with being able to use what you have to its end of life. First, like, see if you've got friends or family, like if their dogs are interested in them. There is a taboo in the US about sharing dog toys, but literally you just put them in the wash, or if they're dishwasher safe, you wash them and they're clean. Like, no one's getting a disease.
Right.
So that's a great way. Like, start a dog toy swap. If you go to a dog park or something like that and you see a dog toy that maybe your dog likes, pet parents are a really great community. Just ask them and be like, oh, hey, like, would you be open to a toy swap? Like, I know it sounds a little weird, but if we start having the conversation, it won't be that weird, right? So that's an option.
I know that no one listening can see me right now, but my mouth is open because I am like, this is the most amazing idea. My sister has kids, and they'd have a lending toy library.
Yes.
For kids. All around my neighborhood, there are these like little free library boxes that people put in their front yard, and you can go and like borrow books and trade books and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should have a dog toy library box in my yard.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, people are walking their dogs past your house and like, oh, maybe the dog sniffs and is like, I'll take that. And next thing you know, they're walking down the street like with a little fluffy in their mouth. I don't know. But so that's an option. And then, there's shelters and other groups out there that, especially in inner city areas or low income areas where they don't have a lot of donations, those dogs need enrichment and they need entertainment too. So you can always ask those folks, if they're, looking for goods. And then,
well, you also make like some DIY toys too.
Yes. So, well, it's funny. Taking some of those toys, your Busy Box tutorial.
Yes.
I've totally done that. I've totally done it, right? Like, take the items in your home. Maybe it's that cardboard box, or maybe it's that plastic bottle, and use it in a way that's safe for your pet, that they can use it as an enrichment toy. So, taking something that's old and maybe stuffing a treat in it, or stuffing it inside something, is a way for, your dog to still interact with it. So totally stole that idea from you, but it's a great sustainable option.
It got me through quarantine. Like, I would take rags, like clean rags, and roll them up with little treats inside. And then I would take cardboard boxes, and usually Lucy rips the box to shreds. So I can only use it one time. But Bert is a lot more gentle. So I would get a couple uses out of his box. I would save my toilet paper, the cardboard from the paper towels, and save those and cut those up and put treats in them and tape the ends shut. I was like reusing everything and anything. I had like a little hoarder corner in my house.
That's so good. No, but that's goals, right? And then, getting creative and figuring out how to take that old toy and incorporate it into it, or, maybe you smear peanut butter on the inside of the toilet paper roll and put it on the leg of some fluffy toy. Like, dogs don't know. They just want to chomp on it. So they're going to love it anyway.
Yeah, I love it. So if someone has a pet business, do you have some ideas on how they could make their business a little bit more eco-friendly? Like, let's just say, for example, that they have an online business, an online store, and they're selling products. What are some things they could do to be more eco-friendly?
Right. So, packaging is the first thing that comes to mind. And, for a small business, that's a huge expense, right? So looking into, different sustainable options, and sustainable doesn't always mean that it's, it has to be a recycled material, but it could be something that is reusable. So let's say you have a Ziploc bag for treats, right? And that Ziploc bag is maybe not currently made from recycled materials. You'd like to when you're able to, say, invest in a more sustainable option. But right now, you're not able to. But you still have this like Ziploc kind of plasticky bag for your treats. Something that you can do is like take that bag, think on it, like, okay, can you wash it, and can your your consumers reuse that and put some treats in it for when their dog, gets in the car and goes somewhere. Like just starting the idea and saying, hey, like how can we champion our consumers to rethink and reuse something? So that's a simple way. There's also,
I like that too, because that's like no cost. It's just giving someone an idea.
Exactly. And it'll help their business, right? Because what they're doing is they're providing a valuable idea to their audience. So on the business side, that's positive. It's another source of content for them, but it's also like, it's going to help everybody, right? If we threw away one less plastic bag or one less plastic treat bag, we'll have less stuff in the landfill piling up.
Yeah, so. And your dog will be happy because you'll always have treats in your car.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So that's an idea. And then packaging. Well, we already said packaging, but what you're keeping your items in, like in your home. Mm-hmm. And when you're purchasing something from a supplier, like going back and talking to them, and saying, hey, the way you're shipping it, is there a way that we can do it, say, slower shipping, that maybe isn't by a plane, but is by a truck, for instance? It might take an extra day, but that way you're reducing your carbon footprint. Planes versus cars. I know it seems like some weird math, but ground shipping is going to be less of a carbon impact than flying something.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So talking to your supplier and seeing if you can work that out. And sometimes it might even be less expensive for you. So That's another positive impact on your business. And it's a positive impact on the planet.
Yeah. Those are really great ideas. And I love that you really like walk the walk, because you mentioned at the beginning about the bag that you use, because you're like the Pupcycle box, but you actually ship in a bag.
Yeah.
So tell us about the bag that you chose to use. What's so special about it?
Mm-hmm. So it is a 100% compostable cornstarch mailer. And when I say mailer, it's a bag, right?
Right.
That you might get when you buy a piece of clothing. You get that, or from Amazon. It's that plasticky feeling. But what's cool about this is it's made 100% from corn. There's a process where you can, take the cornstarch and mix it with some other plant-based polymers that allow it to be stretchy. And you can print on it, and it's heat resistant and biodegrades in like 3 months. Actually, composts, it completely breaks down back into natural matter in 3 months.
And so people who are like maybe hesitant to do that, they're like, no, I have to do a box because my stuff is going to get smushed or messed up or whatever. Like, have you had any problems, or do you take any extra measures to protect the things inside of the bag?
So I haven't had any issues with shipping, and I'm shipping some heavier toys as well as plushie toys. And I thought, oh man, like, is it going to get ripped, in the shipping process? And I've sent stuff all the way up to Canada, and it's been totally fine. We're shipping throughout the entire US, and yes, the bag will show up looking a little crinkled. It won't, be this perfectly sturdy thing, but it won't have holes in it. And it's still kind of cool. You can still put, inside your message to your buyers, or put some branding on it. And it's something different to show up rather than just another cardboard box taking up space.
Yeah, because now you can really kind of customize these bags, and you can make what you put inside just as beautiful as you would inside of a box.
Exactly. And it's ultimately less expensive and takes up less space. While you're, for your inventory and like your shipping process.
Yeah. And also, I guess if people wanted to be a little bit more eco-friendly, instead of printing out, like sometimes I get packages and there's like 5 postcards inside and flyers and like all kinds of stuff. And like, I love putting stickers in my packages, but sometimes I get things from people and there's like a lot of swag and paper and stuff in there. So would like emailing people be a good trade-off for that?
I think emailing is a great way to offset putting some of that swag inside a bag. There is something nostalgic about getting that little postcard, but seeing if you can condense it, or with with COVID times, the use of the QR code has really come back. And so using a QR code on maybe that one postcard rather than having a postcard and a pamphlet and, another
a business card and another thing and another thing and another thing.
Yes. So having the QR code, I mean, your iPhone reads it or your Android device also reads it. And that way it's another touch point, maybe going back to your website or landing page as well, and another way for you to connect with your customer.
Yeah, because if you can get them to go back to your website, they might make another purchase or see new things that you've added.
Yes.
So that's definitely a good idea. So you don't have to cut out all your paper. Just be smart about it.
Exactly.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit here. It is an overwhelming time in the planet, and sometimes it's really difficult. I know anytime I look at the news, which I have to really control myself not to, because it's just so negative. I guess it's not negative; it's just reality now. But everything
it's so tumultuous.
There's nothing but bad news, and just with the wildfires, and so much destruction and fires like we've never seen before, and just so many people who are like climate change deniers, and it's just so difficult. How do you stay sane and positive and keep pushing forward when it seems like there's so many things pushing against us?
Yeah. Well, staying positive in the climate crisis that we're in, for many people can cause that like overwhelming sinking feeling, that anxiety. And it's really hard because many people do feel helpless. Some people have shied away from, watching the news or watching certain social media channels. But, what I do and what we really care about at Pupcycle is like share the good news, share the people that are out there helping and making change and talking about making change. Like you got to surround yourself with the positivity. I know that sounds really like cheerleader rah rah, but we have to break the cycle. And we need to take some time to educate ourselves, whether it's just following one person on Instagram that is talking about making an impact, or one group in your neighborhood that is out there, whether it's, cleaning up trash on the side of the road or, working to, clean up the, say, preserve in their neighborhood to prevent wildfires and things like that. So my thing is I'm just surrounding myself with the good and keeping track of, the scary and the bad, because you need to know what's going on, but surround yourself with positivity and it'll help make some positive change.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I like what you said, just, maybe looking at social media accounts that do share the positive news and then sharing it with your followers so that then you can kind of like pay it forward and keep the positivity going.
Exactly. And, a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm just sharing something on social media. Like, how is that, how could that possibly be helping? But in a world where we still do have climate change deniers, the more positive and truthful information we put out there, we're building towards having a chance of making change, especially, like I said, or I think, like you said, with upcoming elections and just this time of change in our country, in the world.
Yeah. I mean, what I've kind of seen firsthand this year is that your voice, like no matter if you have 100 Instagram followers or 100,000, your voice can really make an impact. And if you just educate one person or get one person to like ask a question or think a little bit differently, you've made a huge impact and like you're an influencer.
Yes. And we need to do that for each other right now, right? Because community, especially the online community, a lot of us have used that to survive these past, 8 months, 9 months that we're in. So it's, you just gotta, like you said, keep paying it forward and we'll get there.
Yeah. And I think it's, not to get like totally off topic here, but I love doing polls on Instagram and asking my followers questions. And earlier in the summer, I had asked people, are you afraid of sharing your opinion on social media because you're afraid people will attack you or unfollow you or not shop from your business or something like that? And the majority of people said yes, they were afraid of sharing their opinion. But
Gosh.
yeah, and I think it's hard. Everything's become so like us versus them. And people aren't open to just learning new things. And that's a huge generalization. But I think people are afraid that if they put out an opinion or say what they believe in, that people won't be open to it. And I just want to encourage everyone who's listening here to, if you believe in climate change and you believe in making eco-friendly changes, post about it because it's not controversial.
Right.
It shouldn't be us versus them. Like, it's a good thing.
Yes. It's going to help your life. You're literally, by taking these small actions, you are saving your own life, like your future.
Yeah. And even if you're like, I don't care because I'm going to be dead one day anyhow, do it for the dogs.
Do it for the dogs.
There's always going to be dogs living here on Earth, and the future generations of dogs need a nice Earth to live on. So we have to protect it for them.
Hey, you know what? That's what it all comes down to. That's why we're doing this. Like, it's literally all about the dogs. Forget humans. We like dogs better anyway.
Well, I mean, clearly people don't care about each other. They care about dogs.
Yes.
Okay, before we go, let's end on a high note and tell us about your dogs, because I know you have your dog and then you're also fostering.
Yes. So I mentioned Fly earlier on, and so Fly is she's going to be 10-year-old Greyhound.
Wow.
Yes, she's amazing. She's a toothless wonder. She was rescued from a dog track that closed in 2019 in Macau, China. And I've just taken to greyhounds. I love them. Unfortunately, they're like very exploited animals, and that's probably why I love them even more. I'm like, let me love you. But she's amazing. She's a sweet, kind animal. She doesn't like any other dogs except for greyhounds. That's fine. And then we have Bones, who is our foster. We're a foster volunteer family with Greyhound Adoption League of Central Texas, and he is just 1.5 years and learning what it means to not live on a farm and be a member of a family. And we're really enjoying that process. And they make me smile every day. Like, they're my reason for being. So
yeah, and they can also, I know that they help you test out all your products, and they're your models and all of that too. Yes,
yeah. I've got a toothless one, and then I've got like a power chewer. So I have I've got a good mix of testers, official testers.
Yeah, and they make your Instagram account very adorable.
Yes. All the snoots, all the boops.
Well, so tell everyone, where can they find you on Instagram or online? How can they find Pupcycle?
Cool. So Pupcycle.com is the best place to shop for eco-friendly dog goodies. And then you can find us on Instagram at Pupcycle Box. I know it says box, even though we're a bag, but someday everyone will get that we're a bag. But we got to call it a box for now. So Pupcycle Box on Instagram, and we're on Facebook, but I think most of our community is on Instagram. So hang out with us there. And sometimes we post stuff on YouTube too. So
yeah. And you always are sharing really inspiring things. I know this summer you were doing like plastic free July, right? That was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So everyone go check out Pupcycle Box on Instagram and see what Veronica is doing and get some inspiration. All right, before this episode ends, don't hit stop just yet, because I want to share a special bonus Q&A that I did with pet business automation coach Natasha O'Banion. She's hosting the Game Changers Pet Care Summit October 7th through the 9th. And today, Natasha is going to share with us a little preview of her session that she's going to be teaching at the summit. So, hi, Natasha.
Hi, Tori. How are you? I'm doing so good. I'm really excited about your talk. I can't wait to watch it, but you're going to give us a little sneak peek here.
Yes. So I am part of the Day 3 with Tori, the sale group. And part of the sale of my session is getting the U out of your business. It's the capital YOU out of your business. So being a business automation coach, I am very passionate about having a plan, wanting to be an entrepreneur, solopreneur, but making sure that's not all you do, okay? Your life is about fulfillment and abundance doesn't mean that we have to work all day until we die or get burnout. So
you don't mean, by abundance, you don't mean walking like 200 dogs in one day.
No. Although that could be nice, but the body does, go through its changes. So we want to make sure our business is prepped and prepared to operate without you. I think people who know me know that my true belief is that a business is a business that doesn't run with you. And I know this is not taught and talked about enough, so I will be loving to scream it to the world that we have to get the you out of your business. Why? Because you could break a foot, you could get sick, you could go through a pandemic, you could have emergency with family, you could get married or have children. All these things happen to us in everyday life. And if our business only operated on the health of ourselves, it really risks the health of the business. So what that means is if I hunker down and I fall out today, well, should everybody in my business have to wait and wonder what to do next until I get back up on my feet? It shouldn't operate that way. So I'll be talking about making a strong business plan, having a strong agenda on what you want your entire life to look like. So then we can put automations in and funnels and scripts so everyone in your business can be on the same page. Now you can effectively hire. Now you can effectively delegate. Now you can leave your business with peace, knowing that the baby you've nurtured is well taken care of. And it's so important because, again, you should be able to take a nap. You should be able to go on a vacation. You should be able to say, you know what, today's not the day. Let's try this tomorrow. It happens to all of us. And you deserve to have that flexibility. And I solely believe in it. It is literally the only reason why I can pop out babies, and I'm almost pregnant and I'll be due next month. So I couldn't do this if I didn't have this mindset. And it's something that I picked up in my previous careers. And I know I had that advantage because I was taught it before, but now that I'm in this industry with the best people of the world who deserve a break, come on, pet care providers, we're the ones that deserve the break. So I'm just so passionate about teaching this because we do face a lot of burnout in our industry, and it doesn't have to be that way. It really, really doesn't. You guys know that I've been able to travel and enjoy my husband and enjoy what I've nurtured, and it just makes like the fruits of your labor kind of make sense on some of the sticky days. So that's what we're going to be talking about, life with you out of your business.
Well, and I think that is such a great topic for so many people. I know I struggle with that. I was just saying to someone, like, I am wear, wag, repeat. But there has to be a way to kind of like translate. You can still have like your vibe and your personality and your values be reflected in your business, even if it's not you doing absolutely every single task.
Totally. And people get used to actually you having a team. It's like your children when they go to college. I've nurtured you, I've raised you, now you're out on your own. You can do this. It's literally the same with our business.
Well, and you can save so much time, like outsourcing things that you're not good at too is one of my favorite things to do.
Totally. You're going to hear from virtual assistants to bookkeepers, accountants, to automation software in our summit. So these are going to be some of the vendors that I was really happy to reach out to that have personally helped me in my life. And then I think is going to do the same for our community as well.
Awesome. Well, tell everyone what is the website where they can save their spot for the free summit.
Yes, you can go to ssssummit.com, ssssummit.com.
And that's for Start, Scale, Sale.
Yes, summit.com, exactly. And the good thing is your community gets 20% off using code Lucy20 all for their first month. So if you would like to continue on with us for your all access pass, recordings, and membership, you get 20% off your first month.
There's nothing like a membership in a community of dog people. I mean, who can pass that up? So go check it out, sssummit.com. And remember, it's very easy to remember because we all love Lucy. So Lucy20 will get you 20% off if you want to do the membership as well. So thanks so much, Natasha.
My pleasure.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram at TMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.